Hi everyone, I'm Eefje. Hello. I like finding out how things work. And I also like nice cars. I don't know if you do. And I like Alice in Wonderland. So, now you know me. That's everything. Any Alice in Wonderland fans in the room? Oh yeah, great, great, great. Oh, and I'm an ENTP personality type. I see thumbs up here. If you're into Myers and Briggs, if you don't know about it, that's okay. But I'm in good company of Tyrion Lannister. Yay, Game of Thrones, yeah? Yeah. And Celine Dion. No fans? No, no. Oh, see somebody waving as a fan. So I'm going to tell you about transmedia storytelling. And to explain what transmedia storytelling is, I will start with an example. Game of Thrones. You probably heard about it. So Game of Thrones is this elaborate media production created by HBO. It started back in 2011, and they are creating season 8 as we speak. Now, some of you might know it's based on these fantasy novels, and Game of Thrones lets us experience this rich fantasy world full of magical creatures and knights in shining armor. So the basic story is about several families that fight for the control over the 7 kingdoms. And it has all the ingredients of a great story. There are queens and knights and dragons, and there are cruelties and there's intrigue. Of course there's love, and there's death, and it's beautifully produced. Now people who know Game of Thrones might start to get warm feelings just by looking at these pictures. No? Fans? Yeah, see somebody waving. So to transmedia storytellers, that's a quest. It's a quest for getting people to engage and become fans. Not only because they will buy the merchandise, that could be good, but also because they create fan art. And they are all over social media. And they even share... Yeah? Yeah, Ed Sheeran. He appeared on the series. And what they even do is record themselves watching Game of Thrones and put that on YouTube and share it with each other. If I say Hodor, people go, whoa. Yeah. So these effects are very much what makes transmedia storytelling transmedia, because stories are told through several platforms and audiences get actively engaged. And they will get involved in the story and they will adapt to it and they will help to carry the story forward. Even so much so that film locations become tourist attractions. They actually had to close off this road in Ireland because it was so busy. Now, for transmedia storytellers and producers, it's a quest for the engaged. Because engaged audiences, they will stay with you and they watch everything, they get involved, they carry the story forward, they share it, they do everything. People who don't know it, these are not the characters. This is a wedding from fans. Yeah. So this sharing and this interacting is not that new. What you see here is Winky Dink, a TV program from back in 1959. And what the producers found out is for children to get engaged, you offer them interaction. So the children would ask Santa Claus to have the magic screen for next Christmas, and they could put the magic screen on their TV and draw along with the TV program using little crayons. Now, there are 2 basic elements on the basis of a well-designed story. One is the concept of a story world. And transmedia storytellers create a world for audiences to step into. And they create a world with, it's like a parallel universe, with their own laws, their own looks, their own rules, everything. So probably immediately understand that Harry Potter and Frank Underwood don't live in the same world. Totally different. Now, if you step into the world of House of Cards, Frank Underwood is the president. He becomes a reality for you. And what is our suspension of disbelief that helps us to step into a story world. Maybe we experience strange things. Maybe we see magical creatures or future technologies that we're not used to. And it's our imagination that helps us believe that Frank Underwood is the president. Even if Frank breaks the barrier, looks straight into the camera towards you, and thereby breaking all the rules of a story world. But the thing is, we fall in love with these kinds of stories. We follow Claire and Frank in their relationship. We might even empathize with Doug Stamper, the president's chief of staff, because of all the things he has to fix for the president. Well, speaking about breaking the rules, if all the news about Kevin Spacey in the recent days would be in story, I really wonder how Doug Stamper would spin that all. Let's leave that at that. Now for the media part in transmedia storytelling. We live in an era where media is virtually everywhere. And because we have media at our fingertips throughout the day, it experiences the way we use this media and the way we experience stories. So the way we use media influences our experiences. So for instance, the series Westworld, you could just watch it on TV, laid back on the couch, or you could step into the more interactive part of the story world by going online and chatting with the character. Now, once users start interacting with the story, things open up for transmedia storytellers. Then the opportunities really come out. Because with every interaction, the user gives away a tiny bit of information. This could be a click, it could be a search, it could be a conversation. Now, transmedia producers like to record all those interactions, and they base every next step in the story world, on that behavior. So now that media are evolving, and we can unlock our phone just by staring at it, this means we can use touch, we can use gesture, we can use voice recognition. It also means that everything could be recorded, stored in a database, and analyzed. Now, this might be the moment that some of you get creeped out. Yeah, because I know about the profiling and the privacy issues, and you don't want to be watched, especially not by governments or companies that want to sell you something. And I am aware of that, and I am involved in projects that address the ethical side of technology. But as a transmedia storyteller, I can't help but see the opportunities that it brings. And to me, that makes it very interesting. So if you have any reservations, somebody does? No, okay, we're doing good. There's one. Okay. Put your reservations on hold for a little bit and let me tell you a little bit further about this story. So what if a transmedia story could be so well designed that it would enter your life in a seamless way? For instance, I could be sitting on the train, listening to a podcast. I like doing that when I'm traveling. And all of a sudden, I get this incoming call. And it's the assistant of Doug Stamper. And she tells me, I heard Doug Stamper's with a murder. There's a murder case. And I'm going to send you some pictures. Okay. If I would be a slick marketeer, this, of course, would be a Jaguar. I'm not. Anyway. Now I get the opportunity to play this little mini game on the train. I could go through the pictures, looking for clues and finding out about a new storyline. So this is just an example how transmedia storytelling could be offered to you in a personalized way. In this case, just because some system analyzed that I was on the train. Now, all this analytics that we have brings opportunities, and it's not that new. At first, we had web analytics. And web analytics make possible for groups of users to generally track their behavior. So that would paint this really superficial profile of a user. But then came Facebook. And with Facebook came facial recognition. So any profile of a user could now be more detailed because Facebook knows who our friends are. If we unlock our phone just by touching it, that means the profile gets even more detailed because now you are personally identified, maybe with your voice, maybe with touch. And then we have the fitness trackers. They record heart rate, they record sleep, they record your movement. So that makes the profiles that things like excitement or movement can be recorded. Now, some say that hearables with EEG-like sensors are the next big thing. So that would mean, finally, systems could paint a perfect image of, well, me. And that would mean systems could analyze my every move, my whereabouts, my past, my current state of mind, my needs, well, my everything. Now, if I translate that to new media for storytelling, I think it could be very well possible that we will have systems that know us and that we can interact with those. This robot is part of the Robot Love project that I recently got involved in. And at Robot Love, we explore if we can learn from robots about love. Do robots feel love? What does it say about us as humans when we're interacting with robots? Now, this robot can see, he can hear, he can respond to questions in a reasonably sensible way. And we arrange at Robot Love for people to meet robots, up close and personal. And then we see what happens. So people come in, they're quite reserved, and then they're eye to eye with InMove, this robot. And they open up, and they start smiling, and touching it, and interacting with it. So now, if this robot would be a medium in a transmedia story, I could meet him, let's say at a bar. And as soon as he saw me, he would analyze me, and he would say, "Hi, Eefje." And we would engage in a conversation. And not only would he ask me questions, he could also log on to my stored profile and see what there's known about me. Just like we would do when you meet someone, you go online to check their LinkedIn account or their Instagram, right? That's what we do. So he would not only know where I work, but he would also know if I slept well last night. And while talking, the system would analyze me. There were kinetic and 3D sensors that would interpret my body language, maybe as being energetic. And he would adapt to that and telling me things that would hint to new storylines, fitting my needs at that moment in time. Now, in my imagination, it would be the perfect entertainment if I could be pulled into a story exactly fitting what I would need at that moment in time. And I think it could be possible that a system knows better what I want than I do myself. So, here I am, in this bar, meeting with this character, and he would look me deep in the eyes, and he would take my hand, and of course, scan it with his sensors, and then he would say, "What's an extroverted girl with such oxytocin levels doing here on her own? Let's get out of here." Thank you, that's my talk.